Ms. Lerner says, I had a question about OCS. Then Ms. Hook responds back, OCS messages are not set to automatically save as the standard. The response from Ms. Lerner is perfect.
Lois Lerner's answer, perfect, is not to this lower box in red. It is to the last paragraph that says, my general recommendation, this is from Maria Hook, is to treat the conversation as if it could be or is being saved somewhere, as it is possible for either party or the conversation to retain the information.
You expect us, and more importantly the American people, to believe that, perfect, now we know we need to save these. That is the most ridiculous interpretation. There is no one with any common sense who would reach that interpretation.
Okay, this back and forth about one email, and the OCS is the Office of Communications Server. Essentially, Lois Lerner, who is, of course, the woman at the center of this IRS targeting scandal, emails an IT person at the IRS in April of last year and says this: I was cautioning folks about email and how we have had several occasions where Congress has asked for emails, and there has been an electronic search for responsive emails. So we need to be cautious about what we say in emails. Someone asked if OCS, Office of Communications Server, were also searchable. It's essentially a text message service. I don't know, but I told them I would get back to them. Do you know? That was the focus, essentially, of this hearing today up on Capitol Hill. Let's talk about that and what light, if any, it sheds on this investigation. Let's bring in our panel a little early tonight ahead of our Center Seat segment. Jason Riley, editorial board member of the Wall Street Journal and author of the book, Please Stop Helping Us. Mara Liasson, national political correspondent of National Public Radio, and Steve Hayes, senior writer for the Weekly Standard. Steve, big deal?
I think this is a big deal. I mean, basically, you've got Lois Lerner, in effect, saying in writing that IRS employees should be very careful about what they're putting in writing. And the obvious question that raises is, why would they need to be cautious about what they're putting in writing unless what they're putting in writing has the potential to get them in trouble? Why I think it also matters is that she's talking about this in the context of congressional investigations. I mean, she says in that email that she sent, she's worried about what members of Congress are going to do if they get their hands on these potentially incriminating or at least problematic emails. The other reason this matters is the timing, is the context. She sends this email in April of 2013 about this instant message system. In May of 2013 was when she had the question planted at the ABA conference. Shortly later in May of 2013 is when the Treasury Inspector General comes out. So she knows that this is all coming at a time where what she's saying and what she's done is under tremendous scrutiny, and she is obviously deeply concerned, as Jim Jordan said earlier, having gotten rid of her emails, or lost her emails, shall we say, to give her the benefit of the doubt. She's obviously very concerned about what's in writing by the people in her unit.
Right, and Mara, the broad context here is that it also comes, as Steve mentioned, she doesn't have these emails anymore.
Doesn't have the emails anymore. They mysteriously crashed in her computer. I think this is the kind of thing that Republicans can use to say, look, she is acting like she's hiding something. We don't know exactly yet what she's hiding, and that's the problem with this. You know, we want to find out what was she saying they should be careful about. Was it because they were doing something wrong and they were trying to cover it up or not? You know, until we get to that, this is pretty much atmospherics. I don't think it looks good for her.
But is there, just to play devil's advocate, is there another reason that you would tell people to be cautious about what you put in writing?
I mean, not otherwise, anything other than I tell my 13-year-old kid everything on the internet is permanent and public. Beyond that, I don't know.
But she's making, obviously, a specific request to IT to get clarification.
Yes, that's the case here. Now we know why she took the fifth, right? She does have something to hide here, and we know that. And it's not just a manager sending out an email saying, be careful what you say, we don't want anything that's going to make us look silly. This is an email that says, we don't want Congress knowing what we're doing. That takes it to a whole new level. And it's also quite amusing, as you said to Carl, that she put this in an email, which is sort of like complaining about NSA surveillance on Twitter or Facebook.
Where does this go, though?
I think
Special prosecutor?
The administration just keeps digging here. I mean, they're clearly hiding something, drip, drip, drip. They're going to keep this
I know,
going.
but we could talk about this until the cows come home, and people at home go, well, where is it going? Where's the investigation going?
You might get a special prosecutor. I mean, it's possible. I wouldn't rule that out. But it's not going away.
But this strikes me as a huge splash for the reasons that if it had been drip, drip, drip all along, this is a pretty big splash for the reasons I think that you suggest. This is not sort of just another set of revelations. This is a pretty huge one.
Special prosecutor or not, Mark?
I don't think they're going to get a special prosecutor.